I decided to become a pro elephant rider.
I became a pro rider.
I first decided to become a pro elephant rider.
I became a pro rider a year after I'd done the frontline, the face-to-face session. And it was just because I knew that there was more to it, but I didn't really know what it was, and I wanted to use the pack, the deck, and intertwine it in everything I did, so that's the reason why.
So I first decided to become a pro elephant rider during COVID. I was working for a tourism operator, and COVID was particularly damaging to the tourism industry. And so that was the turning point when I knew I wanted to go out and be self-employed. And as I was starting to build my new sort of business case, the leadership development and the emotional intelligence side was something I was really interested in. And having done the ECD with teams for a couple of years beforehand and done the masterclass, the next logical step was the pro program. And going through that with Jeremy and getting the support that he gives allowed me to really take that to the next step.
I decided to become a pro elephant rider pretty much straight away when I finished my masterclass, because I just saw the potential to use this and adapt it with the work that I do. So as soon as I finished my masterclass, I spoke to Jeremy about the track to becoming a pro rider. And I became a elephant pro rider in January 2020. And I've now delivered nearly 50 workshops.
I think one of the biggest things I've seen in myself since becoming a pro elephant rider is the understanding of the theory behind the card deck. So a lot of the work that Jeremy introduces you to during the program, the permission to feel and a lot of the articles, it really gives you a better understanding of why you're doing it and why people respond so well to it. So I've found I've had a much better understanding of emotions and how to have conversations with people that respect and develop what they're feeling without sounding patronising or like you're trying to invade the privacy. So it's just given me that confidence as well.
The biggest change I've seen in myself is to talk about emotions. It's funnily enough, I might be doing project management or change or coaching or competency models, and I'm able to weave it into everything. So I've just done a session with Animates and around their plan for the future, and I wanted to just check how they were feeling, and then the second session was when we discussed about how they were feeling. There was some big points that were about to happen, and so I did an above the line, below the line. And so when we did get below the line, I pulled them back above the line saying, this is what we want to feel, this is how we don't want to feel. So I was able to weave that in like that, so just to be able to, on the spot, go, let's do this, let's change that, we need to do that, yeah.
The biggest change I've seen in myself since doing this work with emotional culture and the emotional culture deck is, one, just my knowledge about the importance of emotions. I became attracted to the emotional culture deck because of its link into mindfulness, because a lot of that is looking at your emotions. And what it's done is it's helped my mindfulness teaching, but it's also, my mindfulness teaching has helped my emotional culture facilitation. And it's just made me more and more curious to learn more. So my knowledge of emotions and how important they are for us as humans, both in the workplace and in our wider life, has just grown exponentially. And I just feel like I'm learning all the time.
I think being a pro elephant rider has helped in my business as well, as it gives me an excuse to stop and think about how I interact with my clients. I can do the sort of a retro on my own business or on my own dealings with people, and it forces me to stop and think about how I want them to feel in their interactions with me. So again, it helps me build my empathy for my clients.
Becoming a pro rider and operating my business has meant that I really am living the value of TLC, because I believe that if we start to talk about emotions, people become connected, and the old TLC around connection, around feeling part of something, around authenticity, around being part of a tribe, I really believe it allows that to weave quite quickly into it. Yeah.
The emotional culture deck, since I've started using it, the way it's changed how I approach my work and my business is it's brought emotions really at the center of everything I do. So if I go into a workplace and have a conversation about challenges through change or challenges through leadership, quite often I'll ask them questions about the emotional climate or something around a question that's derived from the emotional culture work, and that actually really unlocks a lot of answers into how I can help them. So I've really put the emotions at the forefront of my business now, in able to help clients navigate change, navigate uncertainty, lead mindfully.
I think anyone who's looking to be a pro elephant rider, I would really encourage them to do it. It's a program where you get a lot of support from Jeremy as the creator. You get a huge amount of knowledge and the community that you become part of, the people around the world who are so giving with their time and their knowledge. I've learned a lot from Steve, who's in the UK. He took time out of his busy schedule to help me when I was starting in it and give me pointers, especially with the emergency service stuff. So having access to that kind of knowledge, it's invaluable.
The advice I would give if you are considering to become a pro rider is use Jeremy, use other resources, use the pro riders around you, and if you can't, watch the videos, read the articles, and just give it a go. Just make sure that that you're not afraid and you become curious and brave.
My advice to potential pro elephant riders is to do the work. So the self-awareness, look at your own emotional journey and how you lean into emotions and look at them, to be really passionate about it, because that passion comes through with your clients. And I mean be passionate about its potential to really help workplaces. Also to not treat it as a tick in the box exercise, particularly the path to become a pro rider. My experience is it's about wanting to learn and be curious and learn more about emotions rather than just have a tick in the box to get the certification of being a facilitator. And to just keep learning and be open.